Yeah, hey everybody, this is Ian, and today we are going to look at some common questions that come up about monetizing directory themes. I will share my own perspective on this relative to some of the other advice I see just about everywhere else I play online. So in this particular screenshot, I'm just looking at a Facebook update today from today's the 28th of December from the My Listing Facebook community. So I blurred out the people who are interacting on this thread. But essentially, the question is, and this is a very common question, I participate in many of these communities, and this is a really common challenge. What is the best way of starting the site or starting to get members to pay for the directory? So I'm going to share with you what I think is the absolute best advice. And this is something that I always do. It's something that I've demonstrated on some of the videos that I've posted here in the past couple of months. And I think everyone watching this who's struggling with this question ought to be doing this as well. It immediately leapfrogs this particular challenge. And it may be a pain in the ass because you got to do a little bit of manual work, but it obliterates this question from ever coming up again. And it's the same challenge that everyone asks once every 2 or 3 days. Somebody in one of these directory communities posts a question like this. So here is the process, right? The first thing you do, whether it's a local directory or a niche directory, take the 20 or 25 best known either local establishments or or niche thought leaders. So if it's a mindfulness oriented niche like I'm competing in now, you want to find the most popular authors and teachers or event holders in that space, and those are the people you are going to add yourself. If it's a local establishment, let's say it's Miami guide, Florida or New York City guide or whatever it is, you take 25 really well-known local places and you add them yourself. You actually give them the absolute VIP treatment, right? So, regardless of what levels you have for payments, or levels of, whether you have like a gold level, a silver level, a platinum level, or whether it's free versus premium, however you've decided to monetize or prioritize your directory, you want to give the people you see the absolute best treatment possible. You want to give them the highest level of content access, the highest level of exposure, and the most complementary content that they are going to appreciate as possible. The reason you do that is when you contact the next 25 people and they go and look at what the first 25 have, they're going to be much more likely to want what they have. And if what they have that you've manually added is some sort of, premium fee-based package, a percentage of those second tier people or the second group that you contact, even if they aren't second tier per se, are going to want the same thing. So that is the fastest way, bar none, of getting people to pay to be part of your directory. You add the first batch, whatever that batch is defined by numerically, whether that's 25, whether that's 50, or whether you just hire a couple of high school kids or junior high school kids, or you have your own kids and you just have them add 100 businesses. I mean, it's really that simple. And then you follow up immediately after that is done with emailing that next 25 or 50 or 100 businesses and show them what's already on your community and have a price tag associated with that. I promise you will get some people who will pay. End of story. It's not going to be a lot, but you might get, if you send out 25 secondary emails, you might get 9 people who actually click on the link in your email, 5 who sign up, and 2 who pay. And if you're charging, $300 a year for what you were showing in those initial 25 listings that you seeded, well, that could very easily be $600 worth of revenue to you in your first week in business. And then it's just a question of scaling that, rinsing that, repeating that, and just continuing with that model until you get to a point where people are contacting you rather than you contacting them. So it moves from being an outbound sales operation to an inbound sales operation, or at least a hybrid of both, where some of the time you're being proactive and some of the time you're actually fielding inquiries from people who want to be included, which is how one of these communities works in a perfect world, or even just a good world, because that will happen for everyone watching this if you follow this advice. All right. Hope that helps a little bit. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks so much.